The world has brought great technological advancement in today's society, and among the many technological achievements, cloning is one of them, which brought change in the field of reproduction. Human cloning opens many doors that may seem beneficial to certain individuals, such as couples who are infertile and cannot produce a child even if they desire to. However, it raises ethical and moral issues, whether or not this is an acceptable new way of reproducing. My proposition is that human cloning will be detrimental to the future of our society due to, one, lack of genetic differences, two, the uncertainties of the outcomes of human cloning, and three, the rise of potential religious issues objecting human cloning. So first, I would like to define what human cloning is, which is the process that allows an organism to give birth to an organism with the same genetic makeup as the organism that donated the DNA. And the same genetic makeup will weaken adaptability of individuals, which will, human cloning basically will weaken genetic diversity. Entire human is at risk of getting infected by the same type of pathogen, and if everyone has the same type of genes, they might not be able to defend against the diseases that they may counter with each other. Another reasoning is that inbreeding will lead to our own extinction of genetic diversity. One similar case of inbreeding is the marriage between close relatives or consanguinity. According to the Indian Journal of Human Genetics, in 2005, out of 427 cases, 305 cases were confirmed to have chromosomal abnormalities that led to mental retardation or Down syndrome due to the lack of genetic diversity. And Richard Nicholson, a British Bulletin of Medical Ethics, said that cloning research may well be sowing the seeds of our own destruction, as everyone has the same genotypes and keep reproducing amongst themselves. This will lead to our own extinction. And secondly, human cloning has results that are uncontrollable and unpredictable. The uncertainties of science technology results in countless trial and error before producing a perfect clone. And according to the Genetic Science Learning Center of University of Utah, cloning animals through nuclear transfer is simply inefficient. The success rate ranges from 0.1% to 3%, which means that every 1,000 tries, only 30 clones are made. Reasons may include the egg with newly transferred nucleus may not be divided or developed properly, or implantation of the embryo into the surrogate mother might fail. According to the Center for Bioethics and Human Dignity of Trinity International University, scientists who cloned Dolly, the first mammal to be cloned from an adult somatic cell, failed 276 times before they succeeded in producing a single life-born clone. Most scientific experts believe that the attempt to clone humans will result in higher failure rates. Another reasoning is that the failures will produce unexpected serious health problems and harm the quality of life. According to the American Anti-Vivisection Society, a significant number of cloned animals and their surrogate mothers who carried the clone pregnancies suffered serious and painful diseases and deformities to produce each successful clone. So even after claiming to have a successful clone process, the aftermath of it can expect to unexpected consequences. Lastly, human cloning will arise to potential religious issues among different religious groups, which will arouse dilemma. According to the journal article, Is Human Cloning Justified? The practice of reproduction is still under the influence of different religious doctrines, and that human cloning is not advocated by most prevailing religions. For example, Christianity, they view cloning as playing the role of God and is contrary to the moral laws in the opposition to dignify both of human procreation and of conjugal union. Another religion would be Buddhist. They believe cloning is a violating the natural order of the world, and cloning may raise the problem of inheriting the karma, which conflicts with reincarnation. Therefore, religion attitudes should be taken into consideration before the application of cloning in humans. As a result of the lack of genetic diversity, unanticipated aftermath such as failures within the process of cloning or serious health issues, and finally the excessive dispute over religious attitudes on human cloning, I would like to conclude that human cloning would be damaging and detrimental to the future of our society.
All right, Priscilla, I think you do a pretty good job identifying the proposition and the secondary claims. The controversy is okay, so that's set up pretty well. The internal signposts are labeled really as issues in the preview. I think that they need to be a little bit stronger as claims. When you do a good job signposting them in the body of the speech. That part was good. I do have a little bit of confusion because if the second point is true, it sounds like we wouldn't ever run into the problem of the first point. If it's difficult to do the cloning, we go through lots of these particular problems. Doing human cloning is this big problem. How would we ever reach the level at which human diversity would be threatened? Those seem to be like inconsistent points. And so you're going to have to sort of resolve that inconsistency. The third point, it sounds to me mostly like it's a summary of what religious opinions are on the issue, excuse me, on the issue of human cloning, as opposed to proof that some problem is going to occur because of a clash over religious values. If there were going to be riots in the street or protests or candidates or political organizations that would rise in order to reflect the religious views of people on this issue, and that's going to create some problem. Even that's pretty speculative, but at least that's a claim of fact. Like I said, all of you I'm getting on that third point really is an explanation of how Buddhists and Christians feel about these particular issues. I did think that you presented some good testimony evidence on these points. Statistical information is a little bit difficult to come by, except for the factual data about how often, how many attempts they had to make in order to produce Dolly. The issue of genetic diversity on that first point, I think, lends itself to an argument or some kind of information, I should say, that talks about at what level this kind of threat is going to occur. I still don't understand why human genetic diversity would be threatened if, some percentage of people engage in cloning. I guess your argument assumes that everybody is engaging in cloning, so we're all going to stop having sex as a way of reproducing, and we're going to use, cloning for that purpose. I doubt that that's ever going to be an issue that people are going to be faced with. So, but if you think it's going to be an issue, you need to prove that particular point. I do think that you're doing a little bit more reading than you want, but I did like the fact that you ended with a pretty strong affirmative statement of your position. All right, thank you.